Listen, please. All that negative energy that's put in the air, take it out right now.
Carr across the middle finds Renfro. They get out of there, and the ball comes. They got me down.
To me, when you look at it, it's just absolutely stacked.
Back up! Back up! Waller across.
Take a seat.
And it's intercepted. Picked off by Mullen.
The boy grew up.
Snap good, hold good, and victory in overtime for the Raiders.
What's cracking with y'all, man? It's your boy Dirty Raider back live in the garage once again. Sorry for my absence. Yo, appreciate you tuning in. If it's your first time here, hey, kick back, watch the show. If you decide you like the show, subscribe, hit the like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. Also, for the fact of the matter is 50 billion things on YouTube. The fact that you tuned in to my show at any point in time, hey, yo, it's greatly appreciated. This job ain't easy, but you know what? It's fun. I enjoy it. I do it when I can. And just want to say I love everybody that shows support and love for this show. Robert Pena, my guy, always in the building. You know what I mean? Love you, bro. Black and grayed out. If you watching, what's good with you, brother? Hope all is well. Raider Nightmare. What's good with you? My nephew Diego, probably already in bed since that was an hour ago. SJ, what's good with you, man? What's good with you, man? Hope all is well. Hope you had a wonderful and blessed day, my friend. BI, what's happening with you, brother? What's good, man? Hope you're having a great one. What's good? How you doing, man? Pleasure to meet you, Seven. I don't think we've ever interacted, but look, greatly appreciate you, man. Glad that you could pull up. Hope you enjoy the show. Hope you have fun. My boy Jesse, what's good with you, man? What's good with you, man? Hope all is well. Hope you had a blessed day. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, you tuned into Dirty Raider, man. We live in the garage, man. We having fun. Is that Sean? What's up with you, Sean? The executive producer of all Raider content, continuously hitting the IGs with the fresh new information. Numbers, stats, lineups, rosters, he got it all. Egalitarian, what's good with you, man? Salute to you. Hope all is well. Desert Raider, what's good? Hope all is well. Hope you're doing swell. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a special guest backstage that I want to bring out real quick, and then we're going to jump straight into this presser because I was thoroughly impressed with the presser. Had a chance to sit down and watch it a couple of times and take my notes, and we're going to discuss these notes, man, in detail because a lot of things were said, a lot of things were put into place, a lot of things I can see how the motion is working, and I'm loving it. Oh, Jims, what's good? Hope you're having a good one. But ladies and gentlemen, my special guest backstage right now, go ahead and bring him out. You guys know him well. You know what I mean? He's the go-to guy for all your outdoor fishing needs. He's the aficionado of brown crackers. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's hanging in front of his camera, but it there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, our boy, fresh out the hotel VIP room, Mr. Raider Twan. What's up with you, Twan?
Hey, what's good with it? What's good with it, fam?
Good, man. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain. Hey, what you saw, you know what I'm saying, hanging in the screen, that was my brown cracker bag, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, your brown cracker bag, your rolls, your pretzel golds.
Yeah, my little, my little zip bag, you know what I'm saying, of the brown crackers, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not mad at you, brother. I'm not mad.
I can't say what company it is because they ain't paying no checks around here. So, you know, until I get an endorsement, it's gonna be in the zip bag, baby.
I hear you. Jolie, what's popping, family? How you doing, man? Hope all is well with you, man. Hope you doing good. Man. try to highlight everybody that comes in, man, and show them a little bit of love. You know what I mean? Beef, what's good, man? Hey, shout out to you, man. Shout out to the nation for sure, for sure. But so as we all know, we had a presser, right?
Mm-hmm.
We heard from McDaniels, we heard from our boy DC4, and of course we heard from main man Waller, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just jump into the McDaniels first. We're just gonna work our way down the line. I'm gonna leave DC for last, so we're gonna go McDaniels, Waller, then DC, right? I'm gonna take it out of that order, and that's the order that we're gonna go in. So first thing I noticed when I was listening to um, Ziegler, not Ziegler, McDaniels, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things he said was, and I'll be paraphrasing. I just take it out of, I take it in, I take in the words and I put down on paper what I felt like I heard, right? So what I heard from his initial statement is the off season is the time to build consistency and performance. Work hard every day and get better. That's what I heard from about the OTAs, because people had Raider Paul, what's good with you? AR, what's good, man? Hope all is well, bro. Hope everything work out for you, brother, man. You know what I mean? Love you. If you need me, holla at me, man. I'm always around. So, and we was just speaking on OTAs, right? We was just talking about the importance of OTAs and the fact that they had, OTAs last week, which were involuntary. You show up if you want to, but now we have mandatory, right? And now everybody's showing up for mandatory, but just the fact that they were asking, about this player, that player, here, there, you know what I mean? And his answer was, his initial answer was, right now we're just trying to build consistency and performance, not the physical performance, but just the aspect of performance of being able to run the play that we put in, even though it may be a walkthrough, no hard tackles or anything like that. But the performance of being able to perform what it is that we're asking of you to be able to do, right? So I like that. And then I also heard him say, putting in a new scheme takes patience, and so does getting to know players' abilities, right? And I like that because there are so many coaches in the NFL that are push, 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 right? Like, what are you doing? Like, no patience. You know what I mean? It wears thin super quickly, and they don't take the time to develop that player. So I really enjoyed listening to the first half of the first few minutes of his presser, because immediately right out the gate he's showing, you know what I mean, he's showing how this new regime is coming in, and they're going to do things completely different than the last regime, right? Because as we all know, there was no patience with the last regime. You know what I mean? Everything had to be done now, 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 now. You're going to do it this way. You're going to do it this way. If you don't do it this way, you're out of here, right?
Mm-hmm.
No patience. Not giving players a chance to develop, you know what I mean, or be able to get, their feet underneath them. And then at the same time, when you're not being patient, you're overlooking the ability of this player. He may not be able to do what it is you so necessarily need him to do. He might not be good at that. Somebody else might be better at that, but then this person might be better at something else where they can be used somewhere else based on their abilities, right? So I really took heart to those two statements right there. Um, they made me feel really good about this regime, this front office, this coaching staff. You know what I mean? When your head coach is preaching patience, that's a good solid base to start off with. You know what I mean? Because it starts at the top and then it trickles down to the bottom, right? So at the top of this right here, we have a base. That means you could flip the pyramid over, you know what I mean, on its point, and it could be a base, and it'll still be solid and still be balanced to where that pyramid can stand upright, even upside down. You know what I mean? So that's where I get a solid base from, because I'm one of those guys. I like to flip things around every now and then. You know what I mean? I like to look at the other side of the coin. If I look at the other side of the coin, the pyramid is on its point. So really enjoyed that. He was asked real quick about Waller. He says he loves Waller, looks forward to coaching him, and is a great player. Pretty much just left it at that, right? Like that was pretty much just the gist of the point. You know what I mean? I love him. I look forward to coaching him, and he's a great player. I don't think you need to really say too much more of that than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like, with McDaniels, he said some things, but I already kind of picked up on some things from the previous, previous interviews that he's had, with this group, with this regime, they don't say a lot, but when they do say something, they actually really mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like if they say, "Hey, we gonna work with this guy," you know what I'm saying? Like they're actually out there testing it out. You know what I'm saying? And really working with that guy. Whereas, you know what I'm saying, we had with other regimes, you know what I'm saying, they would say whatever sounded good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To try to make us feel good about what was going on. But with that being said, one thing that I did like, that they're doing with all players is, he said we're looking at the film, but these players change, these players evolve, these players grow. So that means, whereas us fans may have a bad taste with a certain player, you know what I'm saying? They're not even though the tape might show that, they're not giving that, they're not giving that player that bad taste. You know what I'm saying? They're giving that player a fair shot, saying, "Hey, this is our system. This is what I want you to do. And if you do it, you're all good with me. If you can't do it, then obviously, eventually we're gonna show you the door." You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, like you said, with the previous regime, everything was, it gotta go now. It gotta go now. So if they already had a bad taste on a player, that player didn't even get a fair shot in the beginning of the season because he already had a bad name, you know what I'm saying, from the get. Whereas this regime is like, I don't care what you was before. Let me see what you can do now.
Yeah.
If it works for us, cool. If it doesn't, we gonna try to get a pick off of you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really what happened with Brian Edwards. They saw what they needed to see with Brian Edwards. They said, "Hey, it's not gonna work for us. Let's try to get some value off of this guy." You know what I'm saying? So I like that. You know what I'm saying? So the where we want to get rid of Abrams, where we want to get as much as I want to get rid of Dallin Levitt, you know what I'm saying? They giving these guys a fair shake, and that's all I can ask for, is give these guys a fair shake, and may the best man win.
Yeah. Nah. I also was one of the things that stood out to me in his presser as I continue to go down the list of things. There's about 2 pages of things that stood out for me with McDaniels, and that's tough because even in John Gruden's first press conference, bro, not that much stuck out with me. You know what I mean? It was pretty much like, okay, yeah, we know who you are. You know what I mean? Let's see what you can do, right? But one of the things I really liked was the fact that he doesn't only have quarterbacks in red jerseys, but he has players that have no contact in red jerseys too. You know what I mean? So I like that because now these players can also get on the field, get some reps in to learn the scheme, the system, you know what I mean? but not have any contact. You know what I mean? Protect the player's health, but at the same time, protect his physical health, but promote his mental health in the play. You know what I mean? By allowing them to still be able to get out on the field in a limited capacity, still get that rep in, still learn the defense or the offense, but yet have the presence of mind to put these guys in the red jersey as to say, hey, you guys know what a red jersey means. You know what I mean? Let's have the respect. Let's not touch that player. You know what I mean? Let him get his work in, but don't touch him. I like that. I didn't see that done by any regime prior to this. You know what I mean? If a player was hurt, then they just put him in the room somewhere and be like, hey, go over there. Go in the room, go let the trainers play with you. Not pause. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean, go let the trainers do whatever it is they got to do. But this regime is like, okay, you hurt. But are you hurt enough to the fact that you can't participate? Or are you hurt to where you just have limited contact? If it's just limited contact, come on out, learn the plays. We'll put you in a red jersey just like the quarterbacks, and you can get your work in and you won't be touched. Man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That means anybody that's going out there with that red jersey on has bought into the system and it is going out and doing their job. And I saw a report earlier where they were saying some people that were no-shows to practice or whatever. And one of the guys that they had on there was, hold on real quick. Because it was sent to me by the executive producer of All Raider Content.
Let me add while you're looking for that, you know, with what you were just previously saying, like that's huge, especially for us now. You know what I'm saying? With, you know, this team trying to understand the new language, you know what I'm saying? The new offense and the new defense, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Diablo wearing that red shirt, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's the name I was looking for.
Okay.
People were saying he was a no-show today, like he wasn't out on the field.
Yeah.
But how do we know he was in a red jersey if he wasn't out on the field? That's why I say don't believe these reports sometimes that you get. You know what I mean? Oh, this guy was a no-show. This guy. They even said Josh Jacobs wasn't there, but Josh Jacobs was there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, Kenyon wasn't there with good reason, but Devon Diablo and Josh Jacobs were both at the facility and practicing today. Josh Jacobs just was inside the facility getting treatment. You know what I mean? But Devon Diablo was actually out on the field, but just in a limited capacity. So, yeah.
But it's you know, that's key for them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you said, it's the mental development. You know what I'm saying? For them to still get that rep in. You know what I'm saying? So when they come back healthy, they know. You know what I'm saying? They're not missing anything because they didn't miss. You know what I'm saying? The teaching parts of practice. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, offense or defense, they're there. You know what I'm saying? So I love that there's still some inclusion, even if, you know, you're limited, you know.
Now moving on to the next statement that, you know, really captured my mind and is the overall priority is getting the whole offense on the same page for now. When training camp comes around, we will get down to the physical play. For now, just trying to get the playbook installed and everyone committed to be ready to go. That's what I took from his next statement, right? Even, you know, when he was asked about, you know, what position on the offense was like a major priority. And, you know, the fact that his answer was the overall priority is getting the whole offense on the same page, right? The same page, man. No one position is more valuable than the other right now. You know what I mean? We're all equally valuable. You know what I mean? If the offensive line doesn't play well, the quarterback doesn't play well. If the quarterback doesn't play well, the wide receivers don't get the ball to play well. If the wide receivers aren't getting the ball to play well, it doesn't open up the running game for the running backs to play well. So everybody has an equal and valuable part in this offense, and we all have to be on the same page. And right now is the perfect time to get a new scheme, you know what I mean, a new schematic in place and ready to go when preseason actually rolls around. The full preseason actually rolls around. We will already be a little bit ahead of the curve than what most people think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I really did enjoy the answer of that question when he was asked, you know, what does he feel is the number one priority, you know, position on offense, and the fact that he said they're all equally valuable right now, and they're all the equally same prioritized because we have to get this thing installed, and we'll figure it. We'll get the best 11 when preseason, you know, when training camp rolls around. We'll find the best 11, but for now, let's get everybody on the same page and moving forward. And yeah, you know, he had also mentioned later in that conversation that Lester Cotton was growing and improving in his game as well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he also mentioned Jacob Johnson, you know, and bringing him in, adding, you know, leadership, you know what I mean, and value to the team, because he's one of those players that can play anywhere and do whatever's asked of him, you know what I mean. And I know we all been calling him Jacob Johnson, but his actual name is Jacob. The J is silent. It's Jacob, like Joaquin. You know what I mean? So it's Jacob Johnson. But when he was asked about DC4, now when he was asked about DC4, he said DC4 has been a good player for a long time. Great leader, strong man, smart, treats everyone the same. That McDaniels has been a fan for a long time, and he's been very impressed with DC4 up to this point, right? J Dog, what's good with you, man? Hey, better late than never, my brother. Better late than never. Trust me. I got about another hour or so of the show. So you know what I mean? You tuning in for perfect timing, man. You tuning in for perfect timing, brother. But I like this because when we get into DC's, you know, part of the interview a little bit later in the show, you know what I mean, we'll revisit, you know what I mean, his interactions with the front office. But the fact that this front office is doing something that the other regime would not do speaks high volumes. You know what I mean? Speaks
Right.
really high volumes on the fact that DC is a good sought after quarterback in the NFL, right? Like people really like this dude. People really want this dude to play for them. So all the dirt that people have been throwing on his name is speaking on him, man. I don't think any of it is deserved at this point in time. You know what I mean? Like it's really not deserved. Like I think people owe this man an apology. We're getting these words from a Super Bowl winning coach. You know what I mean? We're getting these words from a Super Bowl winning coach, a man who's had a Tom Brady. You know what I mean? A man who's taken, you know, teams to the chip. So, well, not him himself, but part of the staff, right?
Yeah.
So I really like the fact that he came out and stood by his quarterback, unlike other regimes in the past. How do you feel about that, bro?
You know, yeah. It for me, it's a broken record. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many times, you know what I'm saying, McDaniels got to come out and say he liked the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And or how many times his actions showed that he liked the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it kind of baffles me that, you know, some people are like, you know, hoping that, you know, McDaniel's gonna say something crazy about DC, and that, you know, to up to this point. You know what I'm saying? Now, if DC starts stinking up the joint, then he may say, he may have something to say from from that
Yeah.
point. But
Yeah.
at this point, that was the sole reason. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sold. I can put house money on it that what I'm saying, that was one of the sole reasons why he came over to be to be a Raider, was because DC was on this roster. You know what I'm saying? And it's just another, you know what I'm saying? Just get ready for it, because he's going to continue to say that the whole season, that he's a good passer, that he's a good leader, because guess what? That's what DC was doing.
Yes.
That's what other, and like you said, there's other coaches that would love, you know what I'm saying, would love to have a DC
yes
under center right now.
Yes. Right away, you're right, bro. Gruden's ego, it was just too big, man. It was just too big, man. You know what I mean? Like, it was just too big. He wasn't never going. He had the Al Davis syndrome, where he wasn't going to let anything on the team be bigger than him. And that's not the type of coach that we want, man.
Not at all.
It's just not going to work. But moving on into McDaniels' presser, as we continue on down the line, we stumble upon a topic that is a major concern for everybody in the Raider fandom, in Raider Nation, is the DBs, right? And what he had to say about the defensive backs was the defensive players that are young have good years ahead of them. They are learning to communicate. Some of these packages that we have call for 6 or 7 of them to be on the field at one time. They're learning to develop skill sets, learning the techniques that are being taught, and starters will be determined by what they can do come training camp. Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, I got a special guest popping up right about now. This is my cousin right here. This is my fam bam. This is my Las Vegas coverage partner. We had a wonderful time for those couple of days, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, y'all know who he is. If y'all don't, then feel free to tune in to his show, NFL, Pharaoh of the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, our boy, Pharaoh of the NFL. What's up with you, bro?
What's going on, man? How your fellas doing, man? How's everybody doing?
Good, man, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. Hanging in there. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the chat. I know y'all in there holding it down. So what y'all talking about? You talking about like the press? I bet y'all talking about like the press conferences.
Yeah, of course we're talking about the presser. Right now we're talking about McDaniels. Then we're gonna move on to Waller, and then we'll save the best for last, Mr. DC, folk. Okay. But right now I'm just going down the line of what it is I took from his presser. It is kind of in somewhat of an order. Because you're just coming in, I'm gonna let you know what we've already discussed. So right off the bat, the first 2 things I took from his comments as his presser opened was the fact that that he understands, that the OCAs is a time to build consistency and performance, work hard every day and get better. Putting in a new scheme takes patience, and so does getting to know players' abilities. We've talked about the fact that he loves Waller, looks forward to coaching a great player. We talked about players that can't practice have on red jerseys for limited contact, which is, something that previous regimes have failed to do. If you had an injury, you just weren't on the field. But at least here in this regime, if you're able to practice at somewhat capacity, we'll just put you in a red jersey like a quarterback and keep the contact off you. But you can still get in, get your reps, learn this scheme. Sounds like winners to me. When he was asked about, what was the overall position priority at offense, his answer was, the whole offense is an overall priority. You know what I mean? Getting everybody on the same page for now. You know what I mean? Not really trying to work on the physical attributes of everybody, but trying to get everybody to get the playbook down at the same capacity. And once training camp rolls around, then we'll go ahead and dive deep into the physical aspect of what each and every single player can do. You know what I mean? But for now, it's just getting everybody on the same page. You know what I mean? Getting the playbooks installed and having everyone committed to being ready to go. Right. And then we talked about him and DC4, how he felt about DC4, just how he's continuously come out and publicly praised DC4, basically saying, this is my quarterback, this is who I'm working with. If you don't like it, tough nuts, you know what I mean? But this is where we're going, this is who we're rocking with. And you know what I mean, that's that. And now we were talking about, as you come in, we were talking about how he's saying that the defensive backs on this team are young and have good years ahead of them. They are learning to communicate. Some of the packages that they're installing calls for 6 or 7 defensive backs on the field at one time. They're learning to develop skill sets. They're learning the techniques being taught, and the starters will be determined by what they can do come training camp. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Real quick, got another special guest backstage, ladies and gentlemen. This brother is just coming in. I'm pretty sure he had to go get him something to eat, and then blaze one for the nation real quick because he was over there dropping fire ass beats on y'all this evening like he always do on Tuesday night, 9:30, if I'm not mistaken. Every Tuesday night, 9:30, he is on with beats from the temple. Ladies and gentlemen, our boy, Mr. Soul Mir. What up, Soul?
Brother, what's good, brother?
I'm
So,
good.
What's going
My
on,
bad
bro?
that I took so long, bro. I missed the last one, so I had to pull up on you.
He's-
Yeah, I had to get right, man. Smoke some weed and shit. What's up, Farrell? What's up, Twan?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's good, fam?
Just chilling.
Yeah. So I really like the fact that he spoke on the defensive backs, because I know that's one of the major pressing concerns for most of the, nation is our defensive backs. Some people think Trayvon Mullen's not going to work out. They want to know where Averett's going to be. Where's Hobbs playing? Is he playing corner, nickel, safety? So when he came out and one of the things that stood out was they have a package for like 6 or 7 defensive backs on the field at one time. That shit sounds crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like a crazy
Patrick Graham talked about how he's always got 5 backs at the same time, like every down. You know what I mean? Whether it's 3 safeties and 2 corners or 2 safeties and 3 corners. You know,
there's literally gonna be a time with what he just said. There's literally gonna be a time where it's just gonna be freaking four defensive linemen and 7 DBs on the field.
it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No linebackers. No linebackers.
It'd be a nose tackle, 3 linebackers, and 7 defensive backs, bro.
cool, Kev, man.
So wait, one defensive lineman, just a nose tackle. That's it.
Just a nose tackle.
No edge. Damn.
No edge. Just a nose tackle and 3 linebackers. Terrence, what's good with you, family? How you doing? Yeah, I think it's 1 nose tackle, 3 linebackers, and 7 defensive backs, bro. Whatever it is, bro. 7 DBs, it leaves 4 or something else, man. It only leaves 4 or something else.
So Luke Terrence was good with you. Hey, you know what I thought was interesting too is Farrell, Cleveland Farrell might have a big year in terms of him being a role player, because they're playing him at multiple spots. They played him at defensive tackle, DN, and now like they're saying that they played him at D tackle. So they're going to be moving around. He's going to be like a chess piece in his defense, it seems like, or they're just experimenting to see where he fits best in his defense.
Yeah,
it could be a lot of different things, but I thought that was interesting.
You know what's interesting about Clee though, that a lot of people always mistake, and that's that the outside linebacker position. It's kind of weird, right? Because when you think of outside linebacker, some people still think it's actually a linebacker. You know, Kyler Frackwell, even Chandler Jones. He's considered technically an outside linebacker, but what that is essentially is just an edge rusher. That's what that is. So it's not like he's going to be back there with the linebackers. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard somebody say Cleveland was going to be back there with the linebackers. No, he ain't going to be lined up with Perryman and Divine Diallo. He ain't going to be back there. He's going to be coming out the edge. And that's what an outside linebacker is.
Yeah, primarily. I could see that happening. I think just Patrick Graham, I could also see him just every now and then have them go back into coverage. Just to throw you off. You know what I mean? Just throw you off. But for the most part, I do agree that most likely, you know, Chandler Jones, he's coming in to pass rush. You know what I mean? Farrell is he's not going to be covering anybody. He's for the most part, he's going to be
he's going to be coming off the edge.
Exactly. So I agree.
Because remember, Khalil Mack was an outside linebacker, but he was an edge rusher. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, but Khalil Mack's a different animal though, because when he came out of college, the dude had versatility. He had coverage skills and he was able to pass rush. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, we know his bread and butter is pass rush and stopping the run. We all know how he's a dominant force back there, but that's a whole different. You know what I thought was interesting too? That and this is not off topic, but like, did y'all hear Patrick Graham talk about McDaniels? And one of the reasons why he came to the Raiders was because of McDaniels, and he basically called him the best play caller in the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go and I'm gonna have to go and listen to that, and then we can definitely talk about that on another show, maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
If you're available, we can definitely have a show with that. What up, Loon? What's good with you, man? My partner in crime, man. How you feeling, brother? Hope all is well with you, man. Salute to you.
J Dog, it's all good, brother. It's all good. I know a lot of people been busy off season right now.
Yeah, you know, people taking vacations, and you know, kids just graduated school, and you know, school just got out. We know families be doing what they think, you know, doing their thing. Parents got time to do overtime. You know what I mean? Because the kids are at the house, so we definitely understand, man. You know, we definitely understand. The last thing that stood out for me with McDaniels. Oh, the other thing I with me and Twan discussed, Farrell and Sultan, before y'all arrived, was the fact that he was asked about Lester Cotton, and you know his answer was saying, you know, that basically, you know, Lester Cotton is growing and improving his game. You know what I mean? And he pretty much just left it at that, which was really, you know, like a telling sign to me that says, you know, I'm not gonna tell y'all too much. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna give y'all a whole lot of what's going on, but he's growing and he's improving. Yeah. That means that tells me a lot about the offensive line coach as well. You know what I mean? Tells me a lot about the offensive line coach as well. If he's growing and he's improving, and the coach hasn't been with him that long, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I'm definitely okay with that. And then he had talked about Jacob Johnson being added to the squad. You know what I mean? He was just basically saying that he brings leadership and value. You know what I mean? That he's one of those players. He's going to do whatever you ask him to do. He's not going to bitch and complain. He's going to put his head down and go to work. So we had also spoke on those as well. But my last thing that stood out in the McDaniels portion of the interview was he said the fact that the turnouts for OTA has been tremendous. The team really fights and works hard to improve and are building camaraderie. You know what I mean? So also like that as well, because that's one of the things that that's needed when you're bringing in what 50, 60, 70 new players to this roster. You know what I mean? Like, there's really not that many returning players. Mm-hmm. It's really not. I think there's maybe 20, 22 returning players to this roster. Everybody else is new. You know what I mean? Everybody else basically is new. So with that, you know what I mean? The majority of the roster is new.
Yeah.
Over 60% of the roster is a new roster. So I personally, you know, really like the fact that he said, you know, it's been tremendous. You know what I mean? And the fact that the team has been turning up and doing what it is they need to do. You know what I mean? They're fighting hard. You know what I mean? They're working at trying to be the best, and they're growing camaraderie. You know what I mean? They're getting closer as a squad. So I really like McDaniel's portion of the interview. Let me skip past the greatest. We'll leave the greatest for last. We'll leave the greatness of DC
I
for
wanted to
last.
I wanted to touch on that what you were saying about the coach, and that's why I kind of always harp at it, right? I always say, you know what I'm saying, Carm Brasillo, and everybody's like, yo, why you always bringing his name up? I'm like, yo, he's been a top 10 dude. You know what I mean? So, but it's true because, you know what I'm saying, you need those great coaches, like you were saying, to kind of develop these guys. And if you think about it, right, when's the last time we talked about Lester Cotton? I think last year we kind of flirted with the idea of pause or whatever, just because we were kind of upset that Andre James and these guys wasn't doing it at the beginning. And we're like, yo, put in Lester Cotton. I think we were just doing that as a joke because if you look at it, Lester Cotton and Kendall Vickers are the kind of guys that's just been on this roster on the practice squad, really haven't done anything. So it's crazy to see, you know what I'm saying, development. And as far as like Brendan Parker as well, I'm hearing some things about him too. So
Yeah.
Well, it just goes to what I was saying earlier too. Is just the willingness to give these guys a shot. You know what I'm saying? The ones that for us have a bad taste in our mouths about their play. They're giving them that shot, and now because they're giving them that fair shake, they're saying that these guys are growing. They say these guys are improving. So that's what happens when you say, forget what you did last year. You know what I'm saying? What can you do for me now? And it's working. It obviously, in some situations, is working out for him.
It says a lot about Lester Cotton too. You know what I mean? If he's obviously impressing the coaches, that means he's doing something right. He's coming in shape. He's putting in the work. I know we talked about players in the past that didn't put in the work, and it showed on the field. It showed on how the coaching staff and the players around him didn't trust the specific player. Like for example, Cool Kev in the chat earlier was talking about what happened to Brian Edwards, and one of the things that was brought up about Brian Edwards is that
My guy.
he wasn't putting in the necessary work. You know what I mean? Like because it showed because why does DC not trust you? But then when we see him playing with Ruggs, when we see him playing with Zay Jones, when we see him playing with Renfro and Waller, everything is just an instant connection. That and I know you brought this up before in the past about Brian Edwards, and obviously he's playing on another team. But my point is that like Lester Cotton is putting in the work, and shout out to him and a lot of the players on the team. They know what it is. This is the year, man. The Raiders are on their way back, man. This is a competitive division. We got one of the best coaching staffs in the league. I know this is early, but hey, the players are believing in. They're buying in. This is the time where players buy into the program, and it seems like a guy like Lester Cotton has caught the eye of McDaniels. And hey, man, shout out to him, man.
Yeah, most definitely. So moving into the later third of that the presser, we had Darren Waller. The very first question he was asked about was his contract. And what I appreciated more than anything was his answer. His answer was basically, and like I said, these are not their words. These are the words that they said, and I felt like this is what I heard. You know what I mean? This is just what I heard from the words that I listened to, because I can't write down word for word what they said, but I could take from it what I heard. I'm going to read through the lines type person. So what I heard from him was, the contract will work out. Talk to my agent. But for me, it's about being here and putting in the work, regardless of how long I'm here. Right? I'm here now. I'm putting in the work now. I'm only concerned about right now. Football only. You want to talk money? You want to talk contracts? Go talk to my agent. That's what I got one for. But for me, I'm just focused on being here, putting my best foot forward, and fucking winning.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved every fucking second of that statement right there, because now I know. Now I can feel better about, well, is Waller going to be a distraction or is Waller going to play? And Waller doesn't care if the contract gets worked out now or later. All he's worried about right now is getting on the field and performing. Everything else will fall into place when it needs to.
Thanks.
So
And,
I like that.
And just to piggyback on what I said earlier, man, players are buying in, and one of those players is Darren Waller. You could just see the excitement. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he's bringing up Rob Gronkowski and like watching highlights and watching the plays of him in this offense. You know what I mean? He sees that. He's not worried about Adams getting the targets because he knows that McDaniels is going to put him in a position to succeed, and he's going to be putting up numbers. And you got to believe, like, hey, man, like Waller is going to be that guy in this offense, bro. Waller is going to be that guy. Like I see him and Adams are going to be probably the 1-2 combo, and you throwing at Renfro. Throwing Renfro, third in Renfro. You know how Renfro's going to do his thing. He's going to come in clutch. He's going to run the right route. He's going to be in the right place. But I feel like Waller and Adams are going to be dominant in this offense. I would be very, very surprised. I know if you can, I don't know if you've been paying attention to what they've been saying about the offense. They've kind of like they acknowledge that this is a tough offense. This is a tough offense, but at the same time, they see the potential. They see the potential, and they have a lot of respect for McDaniels. Along with everybody on the team, like I brought up earlier about Patrick Graham talking about McDaniels talking about he's the best play caller in the league, arguably, you know what I'm saying? Because the dude didn't just coach with him, he also coached against him. So he knows him from different angles in the practice field, and then also like literally trying to game plan against him. You know what I'm saying? So like McDaniels, man, he man. Hey man, I've been saying this all offseason, man. I want the season to start tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't wait for this shit to start.
Hey, man. So Dirty, can I say this about Derek Carr or not Derek Carr? Darren Waller's contract. It kind of ties in with Derek Carr what he said though. Is that cool, or do we want to wait for that?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So what I found interesting about what Carr said was that when he was asked about it, right? He's like, you know what I'm saying? That's his agency, right? Like, but I just hope that he can see what me and Max and others have done to try to get these contracts that we did so we can get the people around us, right? Yeah. So he's kind of telling them like, hey, you know what I mean? Like I felt like he was kind of telling them like, hey, like look at what we done with our contract, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully his agency kind of follows suit, right?
Yeah.
So that was interesting. That was definitely interesting. I think that was like the most interesting thing of that whole press conference.
Yeah. And then Farrell, you had brought up Hunter, right? One of the things that I really liked about what Waller had to say about Hunter was, you know what I mean, that Hunter is shifty, you know what I mean, and as good as it gets, really at his spot. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm paraphrasing, but this is what I heard. You know what I mean? In the way that I wanted to hear it. He said Hunter is shifty and as good as it gets, really, at his position. Mm-hmm. He should have a field day this year. You know what I mean? And that's true. He should have a field day. If Devontae is pulling double team, or if Waller is pulling double team, you know what I mean? You can't double team both of them at the same time. You know what I mean? And think that Waller ain't gonna eat. And I highly doubt that you try and double team both of them at the same time. That's just stupid.
Right.
I believe that's just stupid. And I don't think anybody coaching on the defensive level in the NFL is going to do no shit like that. Double team two players at the same time. I don't think they do that. But you got to double team somebody, right? And that leads me to the statement before when he was asked about the double team. And you know, again, as I said, what I heard was double teams might not be the thing to do. Somebody is going to be open. be it me, Devontae, Hunter, even some of the other guys like Josh and Kenyon, or even Robinson. It's going to be tough trying to double team because anyone can eat on this offense. We have weapons. You know what I mean? That's what I heard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I heard.
Mhm.
And right, that's what I heard.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah, that's what I heard, right? So I heard him say double teams might not be the thing you want to do when you come to play us, man.
He's talking shit. He's
He's
talking
talking
shit.
shit.
You know, he's talking shit.
He's talking mad shit in the most politest way he can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm putting the with the hey look. I'm like that Key and Peele skit, bro. You know what I mean? When Barack Obama used to come out and be real nice, and he had Luther talking for him. Nigga, I'm Luther right now. I'm Luther right now, and I'm telling you, this is what he said. Y'all can kiss our ass. Don't be trying to double team us out here, motherfucker. You know what I mean? If you do, you're gonna pay the price. So
Right.
bring your best game when it comes to single coverage and get smoked.
Hey.
None of y'all can hang with us.
And the great thing about this situation that the Raiders are going to be giving, you know, it's not our problem. It's going to be other defensive coordinators, opposing teams' problem to stop this offense, stop the players. Right now for the Raiders, it's about gelling, getting this offense down. So then when come game 1 against the LA Chargers, we could do some damage. I think with what Waller is saying, I think what's going to happen with how teams are going to play them, and I'm just speculating. I could be wrong, whatever, but I feel like it's going to be a matchup. If they feel like they got a guy that can run with Waller, I think Waller is going to be the guy that's going to go 1-on-1, and then they're going to double team probably Adams. And if they feel like, let's say if we play against like the LA Rams or even the LA Chargers, JC Jackson and Ramsey might be going 1-on-1 with Adams, even though I'll take Adams all day.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is that I think that's how they're going to go about it. Yeah, I agree, man. They double team 2 players, man. That's crazy.
In this offense, all routes are live. You know what I'm saying? There's no dummy route. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no, this person's running a route just to allow this other route to get open. It's not like that. All routes are live. So, when it comes down to, DC dropping back, if he sees Waller is double, you know what I'm saying, and Renfro has a single coverage, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna go with the single coverage, you know what I'm saying, like it's just gonna, and like Waller said, if you give the teacher one-on-one, you still gonna get a lesson, you know what I'm saying. And that's what Renfro is. He that whole China route, and we've seen the highlights of how many times he's broken somebody's ankles just on the routes that he runs. You know what I'm saying? Just on a regular. So just picture that on a one-on-one.
Xavier Howard too from the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, purple and gold, man. I'll address this real quick, man. I don't give a fuck what they're not experts. To me, they're not experts.
This is exactly what I want, though. I don't want the Raiders to be because right now it could easily go to their head. You know what I'm saying? It could easily go to their head like, oh, we got all this talent, we got this coaching staff, we got everything's going our way. I don't want that. I want them to feel like everybody's disrespecting them. So now they're putting in the work. Like right now, this is perfect. I love it. I want them to say the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Broncos before us because we seen who went to the playoffs last year. You know what I'm saying? We seen who went to the playoffs last year with all the drama off the field. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's perfect, perfect and gold, man. Don't even trip, bro. That it's at the end of the day, man. Game 1, LA Chargers. We gonna see what's gonna happen. We gonna see game 2. This is a 17 game season, so it's a long season.
They think the Browns with Baker Mayfield is gonna go all the way too. They're crazy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Baker Mayfield he's gonna be the quarterback.
Well, Deshaun Watson's gonna take a suspension.
How many games is he missing?
At least 8.
At least
more. It could possibly be more than that.
It could be up to 2 years.
Ooh, God.
minimum 8 to 12 games, up to 2 years.
And last I heard with Mayfield, I mean, I think he was on a podcast talking about talking about teams that he would like to go to. So I don't know if
Yeah,
that
he don't want to be there.
he don't want to be there.
I know he said didn't he? Hasn't he not even shown up yet? I don't think he's even shown up.
J Dog, 100% agree with you, brother. You said what? Say that again.
I said has he even shown up?
Who?
Baker Mayfield.
I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he seemed like a sensitive guy, so he took it to the heart when.
I think he took that to the heart.
He took that to the heart when I seen
that. Took that to heart, bro.
He got a few commercials and he thinks he's Tom Brady. It's like,
but at the same time, you got to understand. You know what I mean? You got to think about it and put yourself in that position and his mindset as well, right? You're the quarterback that's been there for years. You're the one that's brought this team back to some sense of relevance, right? And then for you to go out and get another quarterback and give this man outrageous amount of money, he hasn't played in a year, don't know when he's going to play again, and then you want to boot me to the side?
And he's still on the team. He's still on the team.
Man, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, he asked to be traded and they told him no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's like, nah, fuck that. You want me to play backup? I'm not fucking playing backup. You can kiss my ass.
It's awkward for sure. It's awkward.
And with him not really being sure if he's gonna be the number one quarterback, now you want to treat me like the substitute teacher? Like, nah.
Hey, look at it like this, man. It's like you was married. It's like you was married, right? Y'all, you get a divorce. Y'all decide to split the house, but now she bringing her new boyfriend over every fucking day. You're like, nah, bitch, this shit ain't gonna work. Somebody gotta go.
Hey, right? They did him dirty, but he's still a shitty ass quarterback though.
Somebody gotta go, right? So yeah,
you know, he's a backup QB. He's a really good backup. He can start for some teams, but he's never going to
be a good backup QB for Cleveland, bro.
No,
he's always going to be playing with emotion when it comes to them. So he's never going to work for them as a backup quarterback, and I don't see why they don't understand that. You're actually keeping a cancer in your locker room because he's never going to have anything good to say about you. He's never going to give you everything he's got anymore. He knows what you feel about him. That is a player that you let go. You do not keep that cancer in your locker room, and that's why I'm saying fuck Cleveland. You know what I mean? I feel like it's some you pull some bullshit.
And even on top of that, that's just one player. But then you think about those those defensive guys and those offensive guys that still believe in Baker. You know what I'm saying? Do you really think they're going to play for the next guy?
Bro, look what they did with OBJ. You know what I mean? Look what they did with Jarvis Landry. You know what I mean? They show no loyalty, bro. They show no loyalty. You went out and got a Amari Cooper instead of paying Jarvis Landry. And I understand you got Amari for peanuts, but you didn't pay Jarvis.
Cooper is better.
Still, he's better. He's not better without another number one. He's not better without a number one on the opposite side.
No, he's better.
He's not.
I'll take
the only thing he does is he takes away people in coverage, and that's why the Dallas Cowboys are going to miss somebody like that, because when he was out, you know, it showed on the defense because, you know, CeeDee Lamb and the other guys were covered, and so what he would do is they had to respect him and take away from the coverage, and that's why it would help their offense.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean? He ain't the same that he used to be.
I think Cooper is a really good number 2. I'm not saying that he's a number 1, but I just feel like he's better than Landry. I take him because I feel like he offers more than Landry. Like the Cooper has the route running, the speed. He can attack the ball in the air. Like I've seen that from him. Now, can you get on him as being soft sometimes and disappearing at times? And that's why he's a number 2 receiver. He's too inconsistent to be number 1. I mean, to be a number 1 receiver. So, in my opinion, but yeah, I mean Landry's solid though. I like Landry, but I never looked at him as like, man, I don't know. You think he's a number 2 receiver? He's a good number 2?
Who? Landry?
Landry.
I think he could be a good number 2 in the right system.
Yeah.
He'll be a great number 3.
They got
For
a lot
us?
of good receivers over there in New Orleans, but the quarterback situation, I don't know.
Look, I got a feeling if we go get anybody, it's gonna be Julio or OBJ.
Salute to you, KJ.
If we go get any wide receiver, it's gonna be one of those two. It's gonna be a veteran. You know what I mean? Somebody willing to come in on a league minimum like a Julio Jones would be right about now. OBJ, depending on when he gets healthy, he's not going to get a full year pay. He's going to get a contract based on what is availability of that point to the end of the season.
Yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be through the waiver wire, bro. Like last year, how we got Deshaun, like after like week 8.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The last opportunity you guys have to get free agency. If it's gonna be OBJ, it'll be through the waiver wire.
Because it doesn't make sense to sign him right now because he's not healthy. Like you don't know when he's gonna play. So it's like OBJ is tough for him because he literally got hurt the day of the Super Bowl, like during the game. So like that kind of like his recovery time is pushed into next year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But hey, Julio's still unsigned. I thought he was gonna go to the Colts, but maybe, who knows? But health wise, I don't know. What are we getting from Julio? Is Julio still that guy? Is he still serviceable, or is he AJ Green?
At a limited capacity, he's a Deshaun Jackson. Limited capacity.
Damn, Deshaun, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's where he's at, bro. Limited capacity. You're not asking him to perform every down, every game.
But for us, it really doesn't matter because you know what I'm saying. The question is he going to beat the third receiver on? I mean, the third cornerback on on another team? Because you have to look at you know what I'm saying. One of them has to be on Devontae. One of them has to be on Renfro. So the third best, the third best corner is he going to mess with Julio like that?
Yeah. Your number 2 corner is not on Renfro.
Guess who's been playing mostly on the outside of Devontae Adams? Matt Collins, surprisingly. A guy that we haven't really talked about too much during the offseason. We've been talking a lot about Demarcus Robinson and Keelan Cole, and obviously when Edwards was here, everybody assumed that he was going to be starting on the other side, but Matt Collins was that guy that so far in the mini camps he's been starting. He's been getting some reps on the outside starting. So I'm like, ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but as I listened to McDaniels earlier today, you know what I mean, when I was listening to the presser, and he said it, you know what I mean, don't read into what you see on the field. None of these guys that you see out there are starters. They're not. Just because you see them out in the starting role, we're just trying to get a feel of what everybody can do with, this package on the field, right? So that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be a starter. You know what I mean? It doesn't. Now, but I hear what you're saying. You know what I mean? It's nice to see. But, as I listen to the head coach, I'm not buying into what I see out there. People were saying that they were seeing Dylan Parham at center and he was going to take the starting job from Andre James. All of a sudden, it's Lester Cotton is the best left guard that we see out there. You know what I mean? Like, and he's telling you, don't buy into that. Just because you see him out there at that time in that position doesn't mean that's where they're going to be. You know what I mean? People will earn their starting position once training camp opens up and we can actually get a full-on physical view of what it is everybody can do. But basically right now, all they're doing is a walkthrough. They're trying to just get everybody on the same page. They're trying to develop everybody to the same level at the same time. And then once training camp comes around, then that's when the fight opens up. You know what I mean? That's what you show what you can do with the time that you had allotted, you know what I mean, as an off break. What did you do with the time when you were off? You know what I mean? Did you stay in the playbook or did you just ride the wave of what you were already on? So that's why I say, hey, I would love for them to just put the best 11 out on the field, point blank. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit who it is. Put your best 11 from training camp on the field. And if that's what you choose that shows us the best probability of winning, I'm fucking cool with it. But right now, no pads, walkthroughs, doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling people about. Like it's all about like, especially for the offensive line, right? You know, they said they were going to test everybody out in different spots to see where they best fit, and that's why I told people like, just because you see Leatherwood at right tackle right now doesn't mean he's going to be a right tackle when the season starts. You know what I'm saying? He's better fit as a guard in my opinion, but we'll have to see once training camp comes and how all that turns out. But like, don't just listen to like, you know what I mean? Like that's exactly what you just said, bro. Because I don't necessarily believe that Leatherwood is going to be a right tackle. I think he's going to go back to playing guard. He's better suited there, but maybe not. Maybe he can get it done with the power scheme. I don't. It all depends. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
No, and I was just bringing it up just because I thought it was interesting. Obviously, they're definitely considering him on the outside. Mac Hollins, obviously a guy that we haven't really talked about too much, and he's been mostly a special teamer for most of his career, but he does offer like some size. Like he's kind of similar to, I don't want to say too much, but like remember Andre Holmes? Maybe a guy that Carr was comfortable with early on in his career, a guy with a good size. Maybe it makes sense to put him on the other side, kind of a true X receiver. But no, yeah, you guys are right. It's way too early. I mean, the training camp has to happen until we can really say that this guy's going to start somewhere. And that was another guy that, so Amir kind of touched on it, was Leatherwood. He's been taking all the starting reps at right tackle. But like you guys alluded to, obviously they're just weighing out their options. They're trying to see where everybody fits. And we'll see. We'll see come training camp. We'll see it by the end of training camp who's going to be the last man standing.
And it comes down to, you know what I'm saying, the language. You know what I'm saying? Like I keep saying language, but they're coming in with a new offense, with a new terminology, the way they say things, you know what I'm saying, the way that they want things to be done. So that's what they're bringing, that's why they're giving reps to these guys and stuff like that, so that they can get that muscle memory of, okay, this is what I expect for you to do when I say whatever the call is, you know what I'm saying? Because they have to get all that other stuff that they used to do out of their system to instill what McDaniels and these new coaches want them to do. So it's almost like a learn the Spanish book. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, learn Spanish. You know what I'm saying? This is the language that we're speaking here. You know what I'm saying? And they're all trying to learn it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, even with McDaniels, he was like, I expect for them to mess up. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be times where they're going to mess up. But again, they have to get that repetition. And, he gave them speed today because he wants them to start picking it up at a fast pace. So it's all in time. It's all in time, definitely.
Right.
No, most definitely. Getting back into Waller's, the other thing that I took from his interview is when he was asked about being in this offense, you know what I mean, his usage and his role or whatever, and he said,
being Raider way.
What?
No, he said, I'll go out on a limb and say D. Adams will take the number 1 spot over Collins, or he meant Hollins.
No, he was saying being in this offense is great. They have a lot planned for him, and he's looking forward to rising to the challenge. He watches a lot of tape, and he can see what they want. He's been watching a lot of tape of Gronkowski, you know what I mean, which is basically the tight end that was on his way to the Hall of Fame. If you don't know who he is, you're tripping. But just watching him and the routes that he ran, you know what I mean, how he ran crazy all over the field, fades, ins, outs, you know what I mean, cutbacks, just straight, streaks up the field. You know what I mean? A lot of crazy, various different ways and routes that he was used in different types of ways. So, he's really looking forward to being used like that. You know what I mean? Very high target percentage for a tight end. We all know that. Might be one of the great. Well, we definitely know he's one of the greatest to ever play. I don't quite know where you'd rank him. You know what I mean? I feel like he's in the top 5 greatest tight ends to ever play the game. I'll just be honest about that.
Gronk?
Yeah, Gronk.
He's top three for sure.
Okay, top 3. Well, okay, then you got him. You got him in the top 5 for sure. I'm saying I know he's in the top 5 greatest to ever play. You know,
Casper
what I mean?
got to be number 1. The ghost to the post.
Yeah. Well.
Semantics, it don't matter, but yeah.
Hey man, I'm a Raider fan, but I ain't never seen that motherfucker play a day of my life.
Nah, but it's true though. That's what they say. It's true.
No. Respect to Casper, obviously. You know what I'm saying, Hall of Fame, but
Milk Breezy like cereal. What's good with you, brother? Hope all is well. But yeah, you know, so he's really looking forward to being used in this offense. You know what I mean? And he's looking forward to you know,
shit, I am too.
Man, you know.
Yeah, you know what's funny about Waller too? What's not funny, but it's just obviously Gronkowski and Waller are two different players. But one of the things that I want to see, because this is the crazy thing about McDaniels. A lot of people kind of been like, "Oh, McDaniels, he has this type of system, and this is what it's gonna be." But what makes McDaniels so good, and guys like not just McDaniels, even Patrick Graham, is that when I looked up on them, they like to play to players' strengths. So I just want to see like how they use Waller's speed, because that's one of the things that what makes Waller so good is that he's big and he has that speed. But with Gruden, it seems like they didn't really use him as well as they should have. You know what I mean? Like, God damn, we have one of the fastest tight ends in the league, and he doesn't have like one deep seam route, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it just felt like they could have done a better job of incorporating Waller, and that's what makes me excited in seeing, you know, Waller in this offense and like seeing like how they're going to use his speed, his athleticism, the fact how he's a big mismatch on the field. I want to see how they use him for sure.
Yeah, he's a receiver in a tight end body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. You know, he also touched on, you know, when he was asked about last year, you know what I mean, and all of that. And you know, basically he said, you know, last year showed character. This year we have, you know, last year showed character, and this year we have talent added to that. That gives us a sense of direction and motivation, and motivates us to want to achieve more this year. Um, and I like that, you know what I mean? Because last year did build character. If it did nothing else, it fucking built solid foundational character as to we can get over anything. If we can go through a season of turmoil and drama and ferocity like we just did, and still get to the point of where we got, hey, that builds character. You know what I mean? It trumps adversity. It's you know what I mean? It's definitely a building piece of championship caliber. This team's got to have character, man. You know what I mean? Point blank. Every championship team has had character, man. Look at the Rams last year, bro. That team was full with character, bro. You know what I mean? Aaron Donald. You know what I mean?
I got a question. I got a question for you, Dirty.
Yeah.
I got a question because you're bringing up a good point from last year, how this team was mentally tough, it had a lot of character, but also the other side to it is a lot of players that were on last year's team are not on this team. Do you feel like that has effect on this upcoming year? Because it's a new year. It's a new year, new coaching staff. I mean, obviously Derek Carr was there, but literally he's playing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of new players. Do you feel like that has an effect on this team? Is it still the same team? Is it still the same tough character? You know, like can you still say what you just said right now about this team, even after losing all the players from last year?
Yes.
Better.
Yes, the reason why I can say that is because all the leadership character, all the leaders, the top leaders of this team are still here.
Yeah.
Mad Max is still here, right? He went through all that adversity. Renfro still here, you know, went through all that adversity. Andre James still here. Colton Miller still here. Carr still here. You know what I mean? Denzel Perryman still here. You know what I mean? Mullen still here. Merrick still here. Like when you look at it, all your starters are still here. Pretty for the most part, most of your starters are still here. You know, minus a Yannick Ngakoue. You know what I mean? Minus maybe a few other players.
Minus
But
Brian Edwards.
you know, hey, look, are we really worried about Brian Edwards?
But an upgrade.
Hey, he's
from
gonna
Yannick,
eat in Atlanta, bro, because
leadership and talent.
he's like number 1, number 2 on their roster, right? So he's gonna eat. Plus, he's already developed. He's already developed an intuitiveness with Mariota when Mariota was here, and it was both on second string.
I
right?
think Kyle
So-
Pitts is going to be the number 1 and 2 on that
Yeah, I
team.
mean,
But
that's
I hear what
fine.
you're saying. I hear
I'm
what
just saying, you know what I mean? By him already having a rapport with him, you know what I mean? He's already at a little bit of a better advantage than the rest of the receivers on the squad simply because he already knows this guy. He's been with him for a year. You
Right.
know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Now, will he get beat out? Quite possible. Who knows? Maybe he doesn't. You know what I mean? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he rises to the occasion with a new team. Sometimes that just happens, bro. A change of scenery is what people need to excel.
He's close to
That
the
just
home.
may be the case with him. Who knows?
Darren Waller said that to Brian Edwards too when he left.
What?
Yeah.
Change of scenery. You know what I mean? That's what happened to him when he came from the Ravens over here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey,
But-
man, it'll be
but-
crazy if he has a great year next year too.
But the answer, you know, your question, I feel like the same thing with Dirty. Like I feel like the core, you know what I'm saying, the essence of last year, you know what I'm saying, is all here. You know what I'm saying? The core. The core is the core are the people that they're signing, right? You know, the contracts they're shoring up before the season starts, right? The DC, the Max Crosby, the Renfro, you know what I'm saying? Those are the core, you know what I'm saying? So the essence of that, you know, is still here. So I feel like that's just gonna, you know, and of course these new guys, you know, the DAs and the Chandler Jones, of course they're going to be in leadership, but you know, to really carry the team forward is going to be those core guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
The
he
truth,
also-
Waller
Go ahead.
was Mariota's favorite target when he took over the Chargers game. Yeah, that is true. But Waller's everybody's favorite target. Let's be honest here.
let's be honest with that. You know what I mean? But he also made mention of you know, when he was asked, are there enough balls or plays to go around for every, you know, for all of these weapons that we have? Pause. But are there enough plays to go around? You know what I mean? And basically he said, and you know, and if you want the short answer, yes. But I'm not gonna give you the short answer. I'm gonna give you what I heard. And what I heard was, yes, it might start off rough, but like the big three in Miami, eventually the chemistry kicks in. You know what I mean? Guys got to accept their roles and know what they bring to the table and focus on that. Everything will work itself out. And the end of the season, everyone will be happy. If we just all understand it's about the team and not one man's individual stat line. It's about the collective as a whole. It's about the franchise returning to greatness. That's what I heard. Right? That's what I heard in his answer. Now it might not be his exact words, but that's what I heard.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that, you know what I mean? Basically, yes, there's enough to go around for everybody, bro, because it's not about one person's individual stats. It's about you being available when your number is called and you being able to perform when your number is called. It could be at any point in time. Your number may get called 20 times a game. It may be get called one time a game. Doesn't matter. When your number is called, be ready and let's go get these wins. We're setting out for a chip. That's what every team sets out for every year. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Any team not showing up to fucking win the championship is fucking not a team, bro. every team in the NFL starts out the season with the hopes of hoisting the Lombardi Trophy at the end.
Yep.
If that's not why you're here, then what the fuck is the reason you are on the field? Why? So I really like the fact that he said, yeah, it's enough to go around. You know what I mean? If everybody buys into the system, if everybody understands their role in the game, you know what I mean? Put the egos to the side. You know what I mean? It's not about one individual. It's about all of us reaching the mountain top at the same damn time. You know what I mean? We're gonna climb this bitch from all different directions, but we all gonna make it to the top at the same time. We're gonna attack from different directions, but we're gonna get there at the same time. We're gonna conquer this place at the same time.
And just to touch on what I remember when earlier Solomir was talking about the offense, and then also Twan also brought up how this is a live offense, meaning everybody's available. And like what makes this a really tough offense too as well is that like literally everybody has the ability to run option routes. And that's tough on the receivers because that gives them a lot more responsibilities because now they have to figure out how they're going to have to run routes and how they're going to have to break out. You know what I mean? It's just it's a crazy offense when it's running, when it's a well-oiled machine. We all seen what it could do. You know, obviously we've seen, you know, not Mike McDaniels, Josh McDaniels' resume as far as top 10 offenses, top 5 offenses, number 1 offenses. So, you know, hey man, there's a reason why Waller's excited. There's a reason why Waller's excited, man. It's like I don't want to put too much hype on it, but it's like when Kobe and Shaq were with the Lakers and then Phil Jackson walks into the room and he just automatically commands respect. Just based off what he's done in the league. Like you gotta respect it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what McDaniels brings to this offense, that the fact that he has a lot of respect. The players on offense definitely respect him. Now, does the team respect him as a coach? We'll see. But as far as what they're saying, like offensively and like what all these players are talking about, how McDaniels, man, like this dude's a genius. This guy knows what he's talking about. Obviously, I brought up the fact that Patrick Graham said what he said about McDaniels being one of the best play callers, if not the best. So it's just like, man, it's a lot to be excited about. Like I said, man.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Another question he was asked was about his role, you know what I mean, his leadership role. You know what I mean, him as a leader. And what I heard was leadership is not always about being out front. Sometimes you can be a leader from the back of the room. When players get down, I can see the reaction of that player and help in some sort of way. Keep them from getting down on themselves, lend a hand, give an encouraging word to pick up their head, maybe give a high five on a great play, or keeping the team on a level at times when the pressure starts to mount throughout the season. You know what I mean? So keeping the team from tipping too far high, or you know what I mean, or too far low, but just finding that proper balance, you know what I mean, to keep the team level, you know what I mean, when the pressure rises, you know what I mean, throughout the season. So really like that because you know what, I understand, you know what I mean. I truly understand when he says, you know what I mean, you can't always be at the front of the pack, you know what I mean, as a leader. You know what I mean? Because even in our motorcycle club, you know what I mean, when we ride in a pack, you know what I mean, we still have a leader of the club at the back of the pack. You know what I mean? Just to make sure everybody's getting to where they need to be. Everybody's in file. You know what I mean? Everybody's in line. Everybody's riding right. You know what I mean? So we still even have a leader of the pack in the back of the bikes. You know what I mean? In the very back. So I definitely understand, you know, this form of leadership. You know what I mean? because it's true. You don't always have to be the guy, rah rah shish boom bah in the front of the line on camera, yelling and screaming all the time. You don't always have to be that guy. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can be that guy that plays the background a little bit. You know what I mean? But I still see you as someone to look up to, even though you may be behind me pushing. And that's what a good leader should do sometimes. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't gonna have great days. People gonna have bad days, right? So you have to be able to lead by example. And yeah,
Lunatic crazy, man.
Loon got problems, bro. Loon got problems.
He
And
said
nigga
that.
says, I'm not talking about bicycles, bro.
Nah, and he said
Right,
he even said that he wasn't the most verbal guy, but he'd take people aside and tell them, you know what I mean?
yeah. So,
And
he
I can
also,
respect that though. I can respect that if that's what he does, you know, and pull people aside, because at the end of the day, like if you're talking to people like a man, I think a lot of people respect that. Just, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You know,
most definitely.
but also certain coaches that are really good, and like I brought up Phil Jackson. What made him such a great coach was the fact that he knew what buttons to push and how to talk to certain players. Like he knew to leave guys like Dennis Rodman alone. Like you know what I'm saying? Like guys like them are like they're just too crazy. So there's a certain way that you got to handle them. He played that mental game. And I think certain coaches, they know how to like handle certain players. Certain players will probably bust out in front of everybody. Certain players they'll pull them to the side. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got to know who you're talking to.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
And that's why there's multiple leaders in the locker room, right? Because everybody has different styles of leadership, you know. You know, like you said, some people, you know, they take to, you know what I'm saying, them getting grabbed and slammed against the wall and yelled at. You know what I'm saying? That's how they learn. You know what I'm saying? And then there's other people where, you know, hey, let me just pull you to the side and rub your back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? While I'm talking to you. You know, pause or well, no, I don't even pause. But you know what I'm saying? Like there's
Take your
all
shirt off. Let me rub your back while we
there's,
talk.
you know,
Pause, man.
there's all different
Pause.
there's all different ways, you know what I'm saying? And even with us on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, there's people we subscribe to because we like that kind of talk, you know what I'm saying? And there's other people we don't subscribe to because we don't like the way they talk, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing in the locker room, you know what I'm saying, but with leadership.
Yeah.
Hey,
what's up, Faye?
What up, Faye? What's good with you, man? How you doing? Well, yeah, you know what I mean? I like his leadership, the way he approaches his leadership role. But then I also like the way that he spoke about Nick Lombardi, you know what I mean, which is our offensive coordinator. If you don't know, Nick Lombardi is our offensive coordinator. And he said he really likes Nick Lombardi. He's a great teacher, pays attention to detail, has a great spirit, super pumped to have him as an OC. He's a hard coach, but it comes with love and good energy. And that means a lot in the tight end room since we spend the most time with them, right? So that was a little small glimpse into, you know, what it is we're going to see from the tight ends. Now I know the reason that they spend, you know, most of their time with him is because we don't have a tight ends coach. You know what I mean? So they spend all their time with the offensive coordinator. He's actually the one in the room teaching them. You know what I mean? And who better to teach them than a guy who comes from the who comes from the system of what it is they're trying to get these guys to do, right? So you're trying to get Waller and Moreau and Fotheringham and whoever else, you know what I mean, whatever tight ends we got in that room, right? You're trying to get them to understand the Gronkowski concept is what I'm going to call it. You know what I mean? They're trying to get them to understand the Gronk concept. So with this, you know what I mean, you're getting not only are you getting tight end knowledge, but you're also getting firsthand knowledge of the plays that are going to be scripted up and things of that nature. You're going to be definitely used in a proper way because he sees every day the attention that you put in to work, and he's definitely going to try and put that into the play script every time he scripts for a game, right? So I like the fact that we don't have a tight ends coach.
You know, it's interesting. McDaniels, like we know we've been praising like this whole offseason, starting with the coaching staff hires and how we've been getting like damn near like home runs left and right. Obviously from from McDaniels to the defensive coordinator to the secondary coach. I could keep going on. And one of the I think McDaniels, he didn't go into the Raider job saying that he's not going to hire a tight end coach. And what leads me to believe that is because he attempted to actually hire a tight end coach from the Patriots, and he was blocked by Bill Belichick. He was blocked by Bill Belichick. So McDaniels, which I respect about him, if he can't get his guy, then he said, "I'm good. I'll just wait it out until I get my guy. I'm not gonna get a guy that I don't trust, who I don't believe in, to come to this coaching staff and mess up our season." You know what I'm saying? So, like, I respect that about McDaniels and how they're going about, like, who they're bringing into the building. Like, they're being real picky, and I feel like maybe that might be McDaniels learning from his past mistakes by working with guys that he didn't know and how it didn't work out.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with Denver. Like, not only did he admit to not having them saying the ability to understand people, but also one of the big factors that people don't talk about, I think you just touched on, was the fact that he didn't have the guys around him that, that he trusted, right? Like it's just guys that that were already there. And so, obviously it's going to be difficult for you to get shit done like that. So,
yeah. No, most definitely. The last thing he touched on was kind of what Farrell just asked me. But I was saving what Waller really had to say about it toward the end. He was once again asked about, last year and players not being here or whatnot. And what he had to say was, that, this last year was tough and we accepted it and we moved on. It's a new year and we are a new team. I'm going to miss the guys that are not here anymore and love and learn. I'm going to love and learn the new guys that are here now. That's the league we play in. It's part of the game. You just accept it and move on. There are a lot of new things to be excited about. Just don't get too high or too low. Maintain and weather the storm. We will be just fine. Because he was asked about, some of the, pretty much the same question you asked, some of the players not being here from last year, will it really make a difference? You know what I mean? And this was pretty much, a really cool ass answer because it's technically the truth. You know what I mean? It's the league they play in, bro. You know what I mean? Players get traded all the time. Players get released all the time. You know what I mean? You're not guaranteed to play with somebody next year that you play with this year. It's not a guarantee all the time. You know what I mean? That's what keeps the NFL, moving and grooving is the fact that players are constantly being rotated. You know what I mean? Like if you kept the same player all the time, man, you know what I mean, till they got old and gray, like that doesn't work out all the time. You know what I mean? Your team would never get better if you didn't add and subtract good and bad pieces, right? Like you would be a stalemate. You would always achieve or underachieve every single year. So
it's the nature of the game, brother.
It's the nature of the game. So I like the fact that he's basically saying, hey, look, I love the guys that were here. Always have love for them, respect them, all of that. You know what I mean? But that's just the nature of the business, man. It is what it is. And I got new teammates, and I gotta love and learn them. You know what I mean? We're trying to do something, great. We're trying to hoist that trophy at the end of the year, trying to bring the silver and black back to the promised land, right? So that's all he's 100% concerned with. You know what I mean? It's what's here now. I'm not concerned about what was here. You know what I mean? What's not here anymore, but what's here now. So
I see Raider, man. I agree with you 100%. He says, man, I love D-Wall attitude. Sounds like a true team player willing to do whatever it takes to get that. Hey, man, like Waller, since day one, I've always said like he's always seemed like a good guy. He's never come across like someone that, and I know some Raider fans were really hard on him last year, but he was hurt. He was hurt. You know what I mean? It was a tough season for him. And some people kind of like, were implying like maybe he's wanting a bigger contract. He's trying to hold out. He doesn't want to hurt himself to ruin his chance of getting a big contract. But hey, man, like actions speak louder than words, man. And this guy says the right things. He's always there. You know what I mean? Like nothing about him coming across as a guy that like shouldn't be with this team, or he's a high diva. Like if anything, I don't know if you guys. I know this interview's been brought up a lot, but there was an interview where he was on the pivot.
Yeah,
it was a really good interview.
Yeah,
they talked to him a lot, and he almost kind of came out and said like, honestly, like they asked him like, do you ever come out to the coaching staff and like ask him to give you the ball? And he's like, nah, like to be honest with you, I still think that I'm that guy that's trying to still make the team. He said, I'm really quiet. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, hey, man, I like our team, man. I love our team. I just love our team, the way it's set up, the type of players that's on the team, and the fact that one of your best players, probably one of the top three at least tight end in the league is like a guy that doesn't even ask for the ball. He's just like, hey, man, I'm just here to play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sounds like a winner to me. They say like 48 laws of power. What's the first rule, right? Never outshine the master. You know what I mean? And he knows how to. Yeah, so for sure.
Frank, my guy, what's up, man? Ciao bella, baby. What's good with you, man?
Got people from Italy. That's what's up. Hell yeah.
Oh, Sicily. Do never confuse the two. He's from Sicily.
Facts.
No, I know for sure.
Yeah. He gets offended. No, he gets offended.
I know, but it's a city. Yeah. It's a city in that country.
No. He's from Sicily. my guy Frank. Frank gets offended by that, bro. he takes that to heart. But nah, turning the page, I said we was gonna leave the greatness for last, and the greatness has entered the room. Mr. DC4.
Yeah.
Now
that guy,
DC4 is as everyone knows, my favorite quarterback. My favorite. I don't give a shit who you say he my favorite. Okay? Mine. Just mine. I'm not speaking for nobody else. But he's my favorite quarterback to ever don the silver and black. And that's just me. Okay? I'm gonna leave it out there just like that. It is what it is. You don't like it? I'm sorry.
Over Rich Gannon?
Yes. I just told you. Favorite ever. My favorite ever to wear the silver and black.
Stabler?
Hey,
my favorite ever.
Bro. You already know, bro.
My favorite ever. Mine's. Don't care about what everybody else thinks. You're entitled to your opinion. And I'm entitled to mine. And he's my favorite to ever wear the silver and black.
I don't know. Jason Campbell was nice, though.
Bullshit. You can kiss my
ass. You said Jason Campbell,
hey, you know what? I'm a man.
You might have to put him backstage for a little bit.
Nah, man, I ain't gonna put him backstage, man.
You better put on a clip. Oh, you monetize now. You probably can't put that clip on.
Shit, I haven't done a clip in a long time either. A long ass time.
The key is sound effects, brother. That's the next
Yeah,
thing.
I got a soundboard.
That's what I'm trying to get right now. Soundboard. Brad, you taking it too far. Our best quarterback was Jamar. Come on, brother.
I think Dirty's waiting.
He got that look on his face, like that evil, like I'm up to something look. Hey man, this is the year. DC, this is the year for him to like really cement his legacy. I know, you know what I mean, he's 31 years old. He got some years left, but I'm just saying, like, bro, like he got his guy, his receiver, he got the offense, he got the play caller, you know what I mean? He got everything he needs. Like, bro, like this is the year, man. He gotta shut down the haters. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Ken Stabler threw more interceptions and touchdowns, but you know what? It was a different time. Way different time, man. Way different time. If you look at a lot of the quarterback stats from back in the day, it was pretty disgusting.
Yeah. See, so Frank says Sicily is an independent region in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you, my boy takes it serious. He's like, no. No, but one of the things that I really liked about, you know, DC's four is, you know, the very first question was what he thought about the system. You know what I mean? And he basically said, you know, the system is different, but I can see why it's successful. You know what I mean? After watching the tapes, learning it, reading it, having the books and things of that nature, he can definitely see why the system is successful. He also asked, you know, I mean, he was also asked about McDaniels. He says he likes McDaniels. He's been very honest and very open. He's been very honest and very open throughout, and that's appreciated. You know what I mean? And I know he's alluding to, you know, the last regimes, you know what I mean, and how they were, you know what I mean? You could just hear it in his voice, you know what I mean, is that, you know, he actually feels appreciated by this coaching staff. You know what I mean? His input, you know, is welcomed. You know what I mean? His what it is he's looking for, you know what I mean, what type of players, you know what I mean, which I'll get into, you know, in a little bit as well. But you know, just having a coach, you know what I mean, that, you know, obviously is a fan, because, you know, McDaniel said it himself, he's been a fan for a very long time. You know what I mean? So DC knows that, you know what I mean? And then at the same time, like, they've been honest and very upfront with him. You know what I mean? They had a conversation with him. They told him they told him exactly what it is they were looking for. I'm pretty sure they asked him if that's something he can achieve, because they're pretty sure, I know they think he can. And you know what I mean? That's what he's looking for. You know, not to mention that they always say the right things when asked about him. You know what I mean? They always say the right things when they asked about him. He was also asked about OTAs. He said OTAs have been great with the installation of the playbook. You know what I mean? Short, simple. You know what I mean? We're here at OTAs. We're trying to install the playbook. That's what OTAs is about. You know?
Yo, Valdez, man, when it comes to QBs back in the day, you just got to compare them. Just generally speaking, in my opinion, I feel like when you compare players from back in the day, just compare them to their peers. Because if you compare them to players now, the stats are so skewed. Even in basketball, like players are scoring more, like more touchdowns, more points, whatever. It's hard to compare. So you got to compare them to their peers. If they were like Stabler was one of the best quarterbacks when he played back then, so like you got to respect him. He's a Hall of Famer. So like, you know, like, hey man, like that's the respect that I give him.
I understand that, but you also got to understand that DC owns every single Raider record as a quarterback. The only thing he doesn't have is a Super Bowl, but he owns every other stat that a Raider quarterback can have. Not to mention, he's the only quarterback to play as long under center for us. No one has reached those. No one has played that long for us. Nobody. Not a single quarterback has started 9 years in a row.
Got me there.
Okay.
No,
Huh?
nah, you know what? Hey, man, I'm not here to argue who. Like, hey,
No. I understand, but I'm just saying, you know, when you get down to the bare bones of it, bro, like he's our longest tenure quarterback, bro. He owns every single record that our franchise has as a quarterback. You know what I mean? The only thing he does not have is a Super Bowl, but that doesn't make him not number one, because in the record book he's number one in every single category.
hey,
That
about
makes him the greatest quarterback to ever play for the franchise.
yeah, yeah. I think with DC, it's like there's some unfinished business with him. Like that's how I feel about DC. Like it's just not like it's just like, oh man, there's a lot of that I like about his game. He's accurate. He has nice arm. Like he does all the right things. He says all the right. It's just, you know, he has to win, and you know he has to win. He got to win. He got to win. You know, obviously the regular season he has to win. Like, you know, obviously he took us to the playoffs last year with everything that went on. I respect to him, but then now he has to win a playoff game. Now he has to lead this team to the championship, and that's what McDaniels and Dave Z. That's what they're like. They're betting on. They're betting on him. They took a really good bet, 1-year contract, if you think about it. But you know, they're gambling with DC.
But they're creating a perfect environment for him. You know what I'm saying? Like he even said it in his press conference, like, you know, where he's at right now, he feels free. You know what I'm saying? Like he feels free. He ain't gotta worry about, you know, the
Don't jump too far in
BS.
my report, man. Jump too far in my report, man. Come on. Nah, go ahead.
Nah, I just, you know, we'll get there, but you know, he feels free.
Nah, I mean continue, because I got no issue going out of order. It don't bother me. I got my notes right here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
So
you know, like I said, he just feels free, and to have to deal with all the BS that he went through last year and had to put on, you know, he had to put on the presidential, you know what I'm saying, hat, you know what I'm saying, because every time some bullshit came up, he had to stand in front of the camera and have something to say about it. Like
Yeah.
he's
no.
back to basics, you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah, because what I got from his answer was, for the first time in a long time, the off season has been relaxing, not having to deal with all the extra BS this year. It's been
mm-hmm.
freeing, not having to worry about contracts or answering any questions about ridiculous rumors that have getting thrown around. It's nice to be told what's going on and kept in the loop. They tell me what's up. They may not tell everyone else, but that's done now. And then the contract is out of the way. So it's just football now. With all they went through last year, it's really calming to work. With all that we went through last year, it's really calming just to work and focus on football. Yeah. So, and that's what I was saying a little bit earlier too. You know what I mean, with this regime. You know what I mean, giving your quarterback that sense of confidence, that sense of freedom. You know what I mean, allowing him to mentally depart from the BS throughout the off season. You know what I mean, so that he can come in fresh, ready, new next season to learn something new. Man, this goes a very long way. You know what I mean, in speaking highly on this new regime,
And
because I'm sorry, because it's evident. You know what I mean, it's evident that they have started something new, and you know what I mean, anything less than the best, they're not having it. What was you gonna say, Pharaoh?
no, I was just gonna say about DC. So I guess I'm gonna be the guy. I'm gonna be that guy today. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm a DC supporter. I like DC. He's a good QB. I'm not saying he's trash or anything like that. But I like to. I like accountability. You know what I mean? I like to look at it from every side, and I gotta. And let's be honest here. with DC, what's missing from him, he has to win. He has to win. You could talk about he's been with the team for 9-8 years, but then like there has only been like what, how many playoff appearances in those 8-9 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, and think about it this way. Look. When we think about the Mannings, we think about Peyton Manning, we think about Eli Manning, but we don't ever talk about Archie Manning. And there's a reason why. You know what I mean? Archie Manning is one of the best quarterbacks in Saints history, right? He put up all the numbers for them. He's like he played for them, right? But at the same time, like no one talks about him because he didn't do shit. He didn't win shit. So that's what I'm saying with Derek Carr. This is why it's a big year for him, is the fact that like now like all the things that were going against Derek Carr are now working in his favor, meaning that now it looks like he has a coaching staff. Now it looks like he has some stability in the front office. Now it looks like he has some weapons around him. Now it looks like he has an offense. Now it looks like he has a play caller, which he's never had. And then now it looks like maybe the defense is a wild card. I'm not sure what we could call the defense this year, but it looks like the defense could be improved. You know, maybe a better scheme. You add Chandler Jones. Maybe there could be a possibility that it could be a better team. But that being said, is that no excuses is my thing with Derek Carr this year. Like this year and beyond, like there is no excuses. So if Derek Carr fails to go to the playoffs and he has all and everybody's playing well, like, you know what I'm saying, then I can't. There's no way to you can't say anything about that. Like you can't. There's no argument to be made about Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand that Derek Carr hasn't played with top 10 defenses and the stability. The Raiders organization has been a fucking dumpster fire for years. Come on, how many times every year we've seen like the worst of the worst. We've seen everything with the Raiders. But
So, you know, that brings me to another thing that, you know, was said by DC. You know what I mean? And he was asked, you know, about this new roster and the new regime, and he said, you know, new guys are being signed. You know, new guys being signed are really a great sign of wanting the same ending we envision, and that's to win. Dave and Josh are doing everything right by signing the right new guys, not just new guys. You know what I mean? So that was also, I felt like was also another shot at the past regime as well. You know what I mean? By just going out and signing players just to add new depth to the chart. But it's not always the right piece. You know what I mean? Like we even went and drafted some players that just didn't work out. You know what I mean? They weren't the right guys. So now with this regime, and it seems like we just keep talking about this regime in almost every show and every aspect of Raider Nation on YouTube, right?
Because it's a first and it's ever.
It's the first. I feel like it's the first time ever that we've really had a regime worth praising as it stands to this point. We still got to wait and see what the team does in the season, but if it's anything like what we envision, you know what I mean? Hey man, this could be a hell of a dynasty. This could really be one hell of a dynasty where we can be happy for some years to come. You know what I mean? It's really some years to come.
yeah.
I would
And I
love
want to say something about DC if you let me, bro.
Go ahead.
I know a lot of people have been saying he doesn't got playoff wins and Super Bowls, but here's my thing, right? And Dirty would be a testament to this because he knows, right? When I first started YouTube, I was heavy on DC. I was always mad, you know what I'm saying? As every Raider fan is, when you got interceptions and fumbles and you don't really know the game like that, of course you're gonna be mad. But as you become a content creator, you're forced to go out and learn. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I realized is this, right? We'll just take last year, for example. 2016, we knew that was the best he's ever had. And if it wasn't for the unfortunate accident, we could have actually went a long way. But if we just take last year, for example, what I thought was a good defense actually wasn't, right? So what I mean by that is, yeah, we brought talent to the team. Like we had talent that we didn't have with Paul Gunther and all that. But the scheme itself didn't actually help us improve. And what I mean by that is we had like the last place defense before that, and then we jumped to like 25 or 26 in defense ranking, and then you can say technically we improved, but how much of an improvement really is that? And so when you give that to a quarterback, I mean, it's not like you can blame it on the quarterback because he kind of carried the team last year. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like I've changed my mind about DC. It wasn't just because we brought Devontae Adams here. I mean, technically, you can say because this is the first time he's got a number one receiver, right? And that's something that they understood as a regime coming in was we got to give this guy a number one receiver because he's really never technically had one, right? So that's kind of why they went out and went out and got Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because of the big name or whatever. It's because of the fact that he has the chemistry with them and as a number one receiver. So I just think that once you realize that Derek Carr never had people around him, you can't really expect, you know what I mean? So
I no, and I'm seeing statements of DC needs to step up, but to be honest with you, I really don't even think DC has to step up. I think DC just has to be DC. You know what I'm saying? Or around the people that he has. You know what I'm saying? I don't think DC has to metamorph into what I'm saying, a whole better quarterback. I just feel like with the talent that he has around him, if he just continues to be him, I think that's going to be the what I'm saying, the improvement is the people that are around him. I don't feel like I said, I don't feel like like DC just has to evolve into what I'm saying, somebody a super sane quarterback. I just feel like if DC throws the ball like he's been throwing the ball, if he reads the defense like he's been reading the defense, if he what I'm saying, he has the pieces around him now. So that's where I feel like if you want to call it a step up, it's going to be a step up because of the evolved pieces that are around him, not just because of DC.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree with all the points. I've kind of been saying this like from day one about DC because a lot of people kind of been. The thing is with like some of the people that have been going against DC, it's that toxic, like I'm tired of losing and we're just gonna blame the quarterback because he's the face of the franchise right now. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, we all know it's a team sport. I understand that and I defended that. But what I'm saying is that I'm looking at this as like this is the best offseason I've ever seen from the Raiders. I've never seen an offseason like this. This is what I'm saying. If DC can't get it done and he's holding this team back because now I see the pieces, I see the coaching staff, I see, and I know y'all seeing the same shit, then that this contract that DC signed might make a lot of sense for Dave Z at the end of the year is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the real case, like I doubt it, but if that's the real case and the Carr is the guy that doesn't do it, that's why he has that 3-day clause, right? It's going to be difficult to trade him in 3 days, but that's why it's there. But I don't think that's going to happen. You know what I mean? But it's there. You know what I mean? Just to be sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's my point is that like I know we love DC. I'm not saying that he's not going to get the job done, but it's very interesting that Dave Z, a guy that like everybody, we can all say that he's been doing one hell of a job, one hell of an offseason. It's interesting that he gave DC basically a 1-year deal. You got to look at it that way. Because he could, if he decides at any point in the season that, you know what, I'm not going to sign DC. It's not like he's gonna make that decision in 3 days. He's gonna figure that out during the season.
Yeah, but 3 days to try to trade somebody is very short. Like Carson Wentz, remember when Carson Wentz had that 3-week clause? Actually, that's short. You know what I mean? So 3 days to move somebody is definitely a short period amount of time. But yeah, you will see that during the season, and that decision will be made. But right, they have to come up with with like a trade partner, right? I guess if that makes any sense in 3 days, and that's gonna be difficult.
That's gonna be difficult. He also was asked about he was also asked the same question that Josh McDaniels was asked, which was what does he feel, is the priority position, what I mean, right now on the offense. And he literally pretty much gave the same answer, what I mean. He basically said it's not about just one group on the offense. It's about everybody working and finding the best 11 players and making it happen. Right. So
Peace out, Fake.
have a good one, Fake. First time ever as a pro, won't have to carry the whole organization with. Yeah, definitely.
I see. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm with you too. But what I was basically, with this, I like I said, nobody's on a different page.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Everybody's on the same page. The answer that you got from the head coach is the answer that you got from the leader of your offense, which is the starting QB. You know what I mean? Which is also the leader. Which is also the answer you got from the starting tight end, Darren Waller, which is another leader that was here last year. So all the leadership pieces, they're all on the same page. You know what I mean? So that can only lead me to believe that they're getting the team to all be on the same page.
Yeah.
And when you can get everybody on the same page, that can make for a great, great thing to quite possibly happen, right?
Mm.
He was also asked about, the position of Chandler Jones. And basically, having, when he drops back and he sees Max on one side and Chandler on the other, right? And he was basically saying, Chandler Jones is just a beast. He's a hard worker, great leader. He commands the room when he walks into that room. Every one of those guys in that room just want to pick his brain and soak up the knowledge that he has. And that's just in short of basically what he said. Basically, he's saying Chandler Jones is going to come in here and do something. You know what I mean? I don't think Chandler Jones is ate up. I don't. You know what I mean? If you go back and look at what he did last year, he had 6 sacks in one game. You know what I mean? He had 6 sacks in one game. So he can still get to the quarterback. He can still, do his thing at the line. Once again, you know what I mean? You gotta understand what this regime is doing. It's not about having a one guy on the field all the time doing what he's got to do. It's about having a plethora of players to inject into that side of the ball to step in and play those positional roles, do what is needed to be done when you're on the field, right? So Chandler Jones, he's going to be on the field. He's going to be a beast when he's on the field, but he's going to be limited in his play, just like everybody else on the team. They're going to be limited in the play, as in the sense of they have different packages designed. And when they put those packages in, everybody that's a starter is not going to be on the field, right? So if they use him the way that I think that I see them using him, shouldn't have any issues with Chandler Jones. Shouldn't have not a single issue with Chandler Jones.
And the thing about Chandler Jones too is that he's not coming here alone. He's playing with Max Crosby, and looking at like some of the like beat writers talking about Max Crosby during minicamp, they're saying like he looks even better than last year, and he was unbelievable last year. Like so, and the thing, and Max Crosby, he's getting better and better. He's the top guy. A lot of people talking about Chandler Jones, but Max Crosby is the top guy.
Max is the top guy on the D line all day long.
Exactly. So Chandler Jones is going to be the second guy. I'll take that any day.
This D line is going to be the scariest thing of this whole team. And to put an emphasis on what Dirty was saying, those 6 sacks that he had, it was against a great offensive line with Tennessee. But when you put Max Crosby and Chandler Jones together with Bilal Nichols as a DT, you're gonna have that help from the interior. You're gonna have that help from the exterior, and ultimately, what that's gonna do is it's gonna make this defensive line even that much. It's gonna be crazy. You're gonna have sacks from the interior. You're gonna have sacks from the exterior, and it's just gonna open up a lot of plays for the linebackers. It's gonna make it easier for the corners to do their job. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be scary. That D line is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that D line is gonna be crazy, man. Now just imagine if they go out and add an Ndamukong Suh, bro. I'm just saying if they were to go out and add an Ndamukong Suh to this defensive front, you know what I mean? Look, you have a big three on your defensive side right there, man. That's a big three. You know what I mean? That's a tough defense to really shut down. You know what I mean? And imagine you put Max Crosby and Ndamukong Suh, Chandler Jones, and Denzel Perryman on the field, right? And then you put 7 defensive backs behind them.
We're going to 7 DBs, man.
Bro, man, can you imagine that defense?
And what's gonna make that D line even better is if this offense is exactly what I think it's gonna be next season. And if it's a high scoring offense, if Derek Carr plays like as well as we think he's gonna play, Devontae Adams does his thing, Waller does his thing, that means we're gonna be scoring a lot of points. And if we're scoring a lot of points, that means we're gonna get ahead on on some of these teams. And if we're getting ahead on some of these teams, then Max Crosby and Chandler Jones about to go to work. You know
And
what I'm saying?
we're gonna be stopping people from scoring points too, because if you look at Patrick Graham, what he did against the Chiefs, it's incredible, right? Like let's look at Gus Bradley, right? They went in the red zone 6 times and they scored 6 times against us. And then you look at Patrick Graham with the Giants, who had Daniel Jones as his quarterback. They went into the red zone 6 times and only scored twice. So that tells you that we're going to have a defensive coordinator that's going to be able to, if not, we don't have the talent here, but if not, it's going to make everybody better. And I think that's the main thing that we have to look at always is coaching, because it plays a big role. You know what I'm saying, as far as the production is concerned on the field. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
And it says a lot about Patrick Graham coming to the Raiders as well, because it was a lateral move. It's not like he was getting a raise. Usually when you see like coaches changing teams or going to certain teams, usually it's a raise. You know what I mean? Like they're getting a positional coach becomes a coordinator, or a coordinator becomes a head coach. He actually came to the Raiders when he could have easily stayed with the Giants, or he could have went with any other team, but he came to the Raiders because he wanted to be part of this coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to be part of this coaching staff. He sees what the Raiders are building, and he wants to be a part of it. And this is a guy that a lot of people, he was getting interviewed as a head coach. That should tell you how the NFL views him as a coach. He was getting interviewed as a head coach during this offseason that he got hired as a Raiders defensive coordinator. So like, hopefully he stays longer than a year. You know what I mean? I'm saying, but if he does what he's supposed to do, most likely, you know, he's probably gonna be gone after this year. But man, like,
no, I hear you. I definitely hear you. Egalitarian, real quick. So any player that you may not have seen or you were told was not at mandatory minicamp is not 100% true. If they were not there, they were given permission by the team to not be there, either for Josh. What did McDaniel say? Some players were there because they just had babies. You know what I mean? A lot of players just had kids, like as of recent. You know what I mean? He was saying, you know, a lot of new babies this off season. Some had family issues that they needed to take care of. Or you just didn't see them because they were inside the building getting treatment for prior injuries and things of that nature. So I would literally tell you, do not be concerned about the reports of players not being there, because they have been given the opportunity to not be there. It has been cleared with the team and they are okay. So it's not anything to really necessarily worry and be concerned about, just in case. You know what I mean? That was a thought process. It's nothing really to be concerned about. A lot of players had kids and things of that nature, or they're still trying to get settled in and get their, housing and living situations arranged as well. So but he's okay. And yeah. But getting into the last of things to discuss about the DC portion of the interview, he was asked about the QB coach Bo. He said Bo has so many drills that work great. He has us working to be the best, and all his drills have something to do with our scheme. He's smart, and it's great working with him. Um, and I like that too. You know what I mean? Because basically, what he's saying in short is, I'm not out here doing any unnecessary drills, but I'm also doing more drills than I've ever seen a QB coach have. You know what I mean? So I was I, wa- I was good, but now I'm getting to be great. You know what I mean? Because somebody adds more drills, you know what I mean? If he's saying that this guy has more drills, you know what I mean, than he's ever seen a QB coach has, that means he's going to develop, something that may have been locked inside of him. It's like playing a game of Madden, you know what I mean? You play for so long, and then you develop the unlocking of an ability, right? So maybe, some of these extra passing drills that he has can unlock an ability inside of DC that we haven't seen. You know what I mean? So that's what I took from that portion of that conversation, was the fact that he's unlocking an ability in me. And so I'm just gonna add, something more to my arsenal of what I already have. You know what I mean? So I think he's developing him. He has the ability to develop into an even better quarterback under this QB coach.
Yeah, and they were talking also too about how like the learning process is for them, like the reason why, and I'm glad that you went there because it also ties into what Waller was saying too about the Gronkowski films and stuff like that. Like they're showing those guys in film because they're the things that they're doing, what I'm saying, are things that they're going to be asking for some of these players to be doing, what I'm saying. So what they're seeing, not just only what they're seeing, what I'm saying, through the drills, but even the film that they're showing these guys, they're showing them examples of, hey, this is what I'm going to ask for you to do, what I'm saying. So I need you to emulate this, or I need you to work on this specific thing, or we're doing this drill because what I'm saying, this play requires for us to do this. And guess, here's a film that shows you exactly the drill that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So everything that they're doing is literally overlapping, their coaching, what I'm saying? And those that teach, there's different styles of learning, right? You have the audio learners, you have the visual learners, you have, what I'm saying, there's all different types and styles of learning, and they're doing all of those so that whoever is watching this film or whoever is in these meetings, they'll get exactly what they need to get ultimately the scheme down. So I love that you're not only doing drills that pertain to the plays that they're running, but they're showing legit film on what they want the team to do.
Yeah, for sure, man. Most definitely. Milk or Breezy like cereal. Yes, sir. Yeah, I hope so, man. I truly hope so. DC was the least cause of our worries. in the past. That's why I can't wait because we have the coaches and players this year. Yeah, right away, I 100% agree with you.
Yep.
I truly 100% agree with you. We are nearing the end of my show. Um, I want to first and foremost thank all of you guys for being here, for pulling up and giving me your opinion, as well as giving Raider Nation and YouTube your opinion and your views as well. Um, if you've been listening, each and every opinion that came out of each individual's mouth belongs to them and them only. It does not speak for everybody on the panel unless you heard somebody say, I agree with you. Um, just know that each and every person up here is their own individual. They are allowed to have their own opinion, whether any of us agree or disagree with them. Just like you're entitled to yours when you're watching the show and you type in or leave your comments after watching the rerun. I'll never berate you for having your own opinion. Um, it's part of being an American. Um, with that being said,
Crazy that you have to have that disclaimer though, yo.
yeah,
It's wild. It has to be like that.
yeah, well, it has to be like that. But before we
Yeah.
go, I'm gonna give each one of you 2 minutes to tell me in the Raider Nation just what it is you took from this presser today, as well as where they can find you. Leaving all your social media and your YouTube. And we're gonna start with my boy Pharaoh of the NFL.
Man. Well, to me, it was just business as usual. They're it's a new coaching staff. They're implementing their systems. They're getting used to the players. They're trying to figure out what players are good at what. Like Sultan and a lot of you guys were alluding to earlier. Some of these players that are starting, they're probably not going to start. By the end of training camp. You know what I mean? Like guys like Leatherwood, is he going to be at right tackle? It's possible, but it's also possible he might be a backup. It's possible that he can be a guard on that same old line, starting on line. So we'll figure that out as the time goes on. But it was nice to hear from key leaders and coaches on this team because now we have something to talk about. Now we can actually like connect the dots on a lot of things about the Raiders. You know what I mean? We can figure some things out, and it's just we're just hey man, I'm probably speaking for myself, speaking for everybody here, but I can't wait for the season to start. And shit, man, for me, you can find me Pharaoh NFL, YouTube, all social media platforms, damn near same spelling, PHAROAH. NFL is exactly how you see it on the screen. Road to 1K continues. I haven't posted in a while, but I will get back into it. But yeah, Fair NFL, man. If you haven't checked me out, man, go ahead and check me out and subscribe.
Most definitely, brother. Sultan, what you got for him, man? How you feeling about this presser that we just went through?
I think the one thing I take away from this, man, is like as much as you try, for me, for example, right? You try to use their history, their patterns to try to figure out and speculate as to what they're gonna do. And I think from what I understand now, I'm getting a better picture is that you never really can figure these guys out, right? Even if what they say is to whether it's to throw people off or whether they're telling you the truth, um, what separates these guys from the past regimes is they don't put everything out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Gruden did his thing where he would let everybody know what he was gonna do before he does it, and I think that these guys move in silence, and I like that. I like that we have all the coaches in place that all can contribute to each other as far as what they do and what their talent is specifically pertain to them, as opposed to again past regimes where everybody was just yes men and just listen to the head coach. Everybody brings something to the table. A lot of people sleep on Franco Com. He's going to be a good D line coach. He was there for the Panthers. You got Jordan Simmons. He's a defensive back coach. You got Carmen Basillo, offensive line coach. Everybody just gels together, and I'm excited. I think we got a dynasty building, and yeah, man. I think for me, man, you guys can find me on Amir on YouTube, SULTANMIR. And you can find me on IG at Soamir Beats 1799. And yeah, appreciate you, Dirty, as always.
Brother. Sir Twan, so what is your takeaway from this, and where can they find you, brother?
I'm gonna roll with what I've been saying just overall with this regime, and I'm just gonna say structure and unity. You know what I'm saying? Structure all the way through. You can see it in the interviews from every player. You know what I'm saying? That comes to the podium. There's structure, and then there's unity, because even though they may sound different, you know what I'm saying, or they may deliver it a different way, they're pretty much saying the same thing. So structure and unity. You can find me on IG at Twan TWUAN. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up there. Follow my lifestyle there. You'll know what I'm going through personally if you don't know. On IG, you can follow me on YouTube. That's right, YouTube at Raider Twan. I'm on the road to 50 subscribers. All right, I'm on the road to 50 subscribers.
Get on there.
Go ahead and get hit them like buttons and all that good stuff. And then also, Yes Sir Outdoors is a outdoor platform where we teach you how to fish, cook, all of that good stuff. Anything outdoor related, we're trying to show you how to do that. So on Yes Sir Outdoors, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Yes Sir Outdoors.
Most definitely. So I do kind of have a special announcement to make. And that's if anyone really cares, but I'm just playing. I know everyone cares, but I do have another channel coming out. I will be releasing a new channel, and the new channel is focused on cars, motorcycles, MMA fights, and food. That will be my life basically. I went to my brother's MMA fight, and it's something I enjoy at least going to and watching. You know what I mean? It's much better in person than it is on the screen, just being honest. It's a different atmosphere. But I will be going to some of these SSP fights from now on and bringing back some nice clear live footage, and quite possibly a couple of interviews with some of the up and coming fighters. I'll also be reviewing motorcycles. I will be going to dealerships when they have test rides, things of that nature. I will be speaking to different mechanics. Same thing with cars. I will be out and about dealing with people with nice, famous or fabulous cars. And then, of course, food, because I like to eat. So we will be doing reviews on food and cooking as well. But I didn't want to bring all that to this channel, because this channel is, you know what I mean, dedicated to my Raiders thing. So I will be doing lives on the other channel as well that are not Raider related. But they will be, related to my life. But that's in the future. Probably within the next month or so, I'll probably be starting the new channel. But I still will have this one. I still will be rocking on this one. I still will be doing everything it is I need to do Raider related over here. But over there, I will be bringing you different aspects of my life. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's in the works. It's in the future. And then my apparel should be coming soon. I ordered a couple of machines. I'm just waiting for them to arrive from China. But we got print and press coming in. We have a new embroidery machine coming in that can do hats as well as sweatshirts. So everything will be done in-house. Like I said, everything would be print to order. So yeah, that's also in the works. So other than that, man, like I always tell y'all, it's 50 billion things on YouTube. The fact that you allowed me on your screen and my panel on your screen for any amount of time was more than greatly appreciated, more than I think we could ever actually verbally confess to you how much we appreciate it. Until tomorrow night, no matter how much it rains, you can never stop the sun from shining. Yo, Raider Nation, go get your motherfucking sunshine. We out.